I'm still Jenny from the block. Used to have a little, now I have a lot. No matter where I go, I know where I came from.
These days, the question isn't where Jennifer Lopez came from, it's where she's going and who she's going with. In the next hour, we'll trace the amazing life of this force of nature. The movies, the marriages, the lessons, the loves, the traumas, the truth. Jennifer Lopez is about to be revealed.
I'm still Jenny from the block.
I don't think I'm a diva.
Ben Affleck. What do you think when I say his name?
It caused me a lot of anxiety.
How exactly do you describe Jennifer Lopez? Actress, singer, designer, restaurateur? There just aren't enough hyphens to categorize this Jen of all trades. It seems she can do it all and still have an active social life. But what's her secret? We'll find out as Jennifer spills the details on her recent engagement to Ben Affleck and all things J-Lo.
So who are you?
I'm just, you know me, I'm just like a simple girl from the Bronx, you know what I mean? And I have a job, and I sing, and I dance, and I love it, and you know, and that's just who I am. You know, I don't pretend to be anything else than who I am. I work really hard. I work a lot of hours. I dedicate a lot of my life to my work, you know what I mean? I try to find a balance between that and my personal life, and that's pretty much it, you know. My mother raised a very respectful and polite person. I think that's something that people maybe, because a lot of things that they write may not think so, you know, but I would never disgrace my family in that way.
Still, Jennifer left a few broken hearts along the way, and she certainly has a knack for making headlines. Jennifer's life has been extraordinary. Her beginnings were anything but. Jennifer's parents were originally from Puerto Rico. When they came to the United States, David and Guadalupe Lopez chose to raise their 3 daughters in the Castle Hill section of the Bronx, New York.
It was, you know, lower to middle class, working class neighborhood, you know. Kind of like what I play in the Maid in Manhattan movie, you know what I mean? Just that kind of, you know, everybody works a 9-to-5 job, you know, can get anywhere from minimum wage to, you know, few dollars more an hour, and you just scraping by, bill to bill, you know, trying to make it work.
Jennifer's father, David Lopez.
It was a nice neighborhood. It wasn't the best neighborhood, but it was nice.
My dad, like, had saved enough money to buy a house, and we lived in a house, and that was a big deal.
That was a priority for me. I wanted to make sure the kids had a place where they can grow up, and we sacrificed to get it, but we got it.
I think of the Bronx being like a tough neighborhood. Like, I think if, like, I knew you, like in high school, like, you could kick my ass.
It wasn't really like that, because it was all I knew, and it was all everybody in that neighborhood knew. You know what I mean? So it wasn't, you know, you knew you had to be, there was a certain, like, common sense to who you had to be. You know what I mean? And there was definitely, like, street smarts. You had to have street smarts and not be kind of silly or naive in certain ways. So that neighborhood did give me that, which I feel still serves me very much to this day, and even in this business.
Life was fun in the Bronx. You know, we had a very active house. There was always a lot of noise. There's always a lot of music. It was very fun.
Linda Lopez is Jennifer's younger sister.
A misconception I would like to clear up, because everyone thinks that she's the youngest. Not true.
Now, you're the middle child.
Yes.
And usually the middle child kind of gets lost a little, like,
Well,
Jan Brady gets ignored.
I never wore the big wig, no. No, I mean, I really felt like, I don't know, my parents were very generous with their love, and so was the rest of my family. And we were all taught that we all had something specific and individual to offer to the family and to the world. You know what I mean? So it was never like that.
I think people have this picture of her running around the house going, I'm going to be a movie star. I'm going to be J-Lo. But it was just very normal.
She was very outgoing. She was there to do, you know, things that the other girls probably wouldn't want to do. For instance, run track. It wouldn't stop her.
Yes, I had to be 10 or 11, and I wanted to start running. They were starting a track team in the neighborhood, and I just went out for it. And I'm sure it took my father by surprise, but he knew I was athletic. But I was definitely the type of person that, and the type of kid that if I wanted to do something, I wasn't afraid to try it.
More than anything else, Jennifer wanted to dance. She took classes at the Kips Bay Boys and Girls Club in the Bronx.
Tell me about the feeling you got out of when you started taking dance classes, though, because that really clicked for you.
Yeah, I really loved it. I really loved dance, and I really loved music. You know, I loved music, and I loved the arts. And when my mother started us in that, when I was 5 years old, I started dancing. I knew how to dance flamenco and ballet and jazz and all that kind of stuff. You know, when I was 5 years old, I was learning all that. So, and from then on, it was just a love affair with it.
When you got out of high school, though, did you have that conversation with your parents where you told them you wanted to pursue this dance career?
Yes, I had already graduated from high school, and I was about to start college, and I basically just got up one day and said, you know, Daddy, Mommy, I really want to not start college. I really want to not go next semester. I would like to try to pursue, you know, dancing and singing and acting as a career. And of course, they were like, you know, you're crazy.
They wanted you to be a lawyer.
My mom really wanted me to be a lawyer. Well, I had been working in a law office while I was in high school. So it was like the logical thing.
But then you did what you wanted to do.
Yeah, but I really had my heart set on. I really had my own dreams and aspirations and you know, and the will to kind of do it. So at one point I just kind of rebelled and was just like, I don't want to do this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to try this.
Coming up, the break that almost didn't happen.
It was hard to, like, break the ice with everybody.
And later, Jennifer on her fiancé and their future. Do you have a big announcement? A baby? Did you hear that somewhere?
Sandra Bullock, her first in-depth interview in a decade. Discover the real woman behind the girl next door image.
I'm not this wonderful creature.
Her biggest dreams.
I haven't wanted something.
After graduating high school in 1988, Jennifer Lopez left the Bronx behind and moved to Manhattan. Her folks insisted she go to school, and Jennifer took a few classes at Baruch College before dropping out to chase her dream, dancing.
Once I left the house, which was under, like, you know, kind of strange circumstances with my family, it was tough times because I was, like, out there by myself, you know, young, like 18, 19 years old, and, like, now I had to live on my own. I had this little part-time job in a law office, so I'd still go back to the Bronx and do that, and then I'd take all my classes in the afternoons and stuff. And then eventually, you know, it was just a mess. It was a time when it was a real mess, and it was like 3, 4 roommates and sleeping on floors and having pizza for every meal because it was only $1, you know, like stuff like that.
What was, like, the big break that took you out of that situation?
I think the big break was, well, I got my first job and I went to Europe, and that was like my first tour, and I was making money, so I was like a professional now. And I was making my little ducats and able to support myself and sent money home to my family and stuff like that. So it was a big deal, and I went to Europe, and that was a big deal. Nobody in my family had ever been to Europe.
The job was in a song and dance review called Golden Musicals of Broadway. Next came a production that took Jennifer to Japan. The gigs were exciting for an 18-year-old, but they made Mom and Dad a little nervous.
There was a time at the beginning when she was doing a lot of traveling by herself that I thought, you know, maybe this is not going to work out for her. But like everything else she does, it just, you know, it kind of convinces you.
When she got back to New York, Jennifer set out to convince everyone else. She tried out for the long-running Broadway musical A Chorus Line, but didn't get the job. A lot of auditions followed, and then she heard about a nationwide search being held by the producers of the TV show In Living Color. They were looking for a dancer to be their newest fly girl.
She was nervous, you know, and I told her, you know, just use your natural ability, your affinity, your ability to walk into a room and take over the place. You know, just be yourself.
Were you aware of the competitiveness of the competition?
You know, when you're younger, you kind of, I mean, it's like ignorance is bliss, you know what I mean? You see all the other girls there, but, you know, it doesn't really matter. You're like, yeah, I could do this, and I'm sure every other girl there was feeling the same way.
Jennifer was invited to Los Angeles for a final audition with the show's creator, Keenan Ivory Wayans, choreographer Rosie Perez, and the Fly Girls themselves. The tryout was intense, And when it was over,
Our new sixth fly girl is Carla Garrido.
Jennifer was disappointed, but when Carla Garrido couldn't take the job, the producers called on first runner-up, Jennifer Lopez.
I'm a fly girl and in living color. I had a really good audition and I sang well and I danced well and it worked out.
Everything started happening very quickly that way, so all of a sudden she was gone from New York.
It was hard at first. It was hard to like break the ice with everybody, you know. But after a while, you know, we just started getting along and stuff got better. But it was hard at first.
In Living Color opened the door for work as a background dancer in music videos and on stage. Here's Jennifer in a 1991 performance at the American Music Awards with New Kids on the Block. Jennifer even went on to tour with Janet Jackson.
And then I got a television show and I left the Janet tour to do the television show because I really wanted to be an actress.
And what TV show was it?
It was called South Central.
The series didn't last long, but Jennifer made an impression. She caught the attention of executives at CBS. In fact, they offered her a development deal.
So now they were working with me to find me the right show and stuff like that. And I got on a show and then it was like, well, we want you to host this thing that's on CBS as well.
That thing was a special on the Tournament of Roses parade called Coming Up Roses.
We're going to find that clip.
Oh, yeah, get that clip. That should be funny as hell.
The start of the Rose Parade is only about a half hour away. And I know one of the reasons many of you watch it is that you love horses. Well, have we got a treat for you right now. Doug, tell us what equestrian wonders are waiting for us.
Then she was on a series called Second Chances, and that one spun off into another series called Hotel Malibu. Those lasted about a season each, I think.
It seems like you were working, like constantly there was something and then something to follow.
Yeah, I auditioned a lot, you know what I mean? So it wasn't like I was getting every audition, you know, I went out for. But luckily, like as soon as I would be running out of money and it was like 2 months and I was really behind on the rent and stuff, and then all of a sudden something would come up, I'd score something and, you know, I'd get a gig and then it would be better.
One of those gigs was Jennifer's movie debut, a supporting role in Mi Familia, the story of a Mexican-American family spanning 3 generations.
At that time, though, when you were auditioning, were you really aware of the whole Latina actress thing?
Yeah.
Were you
I mean,
only
I'm very
auditioning
aware.
for those kind of things?
At the beginning I was, because at the beginning they don't really know your work or anything like that, so basically they just go by your type, you know, your last name and what you look like and your 8 by 10. So it's like, we need this for this small part in this television show, a little guest spot or whatever it is, you know what I mean? So, yeah, I was very aware of it, and I was very aware that as I broke in little by little, you know what I mean, got my first movie, got my first television show, to really not just take all the jobs. I mean, I turned down stuff that my agent was like, take it, it's money and you need it. And I was just like, no, I just don't want to get pigeonholed into that, you know what I mean? I want people to know I do different things. And I held out, and it really worked for me, thank God.
When we return, a private life goes public.
I didn't like that they were saying something about the man I love.
And later, a night on the town goes terribly wrong.
Nobody really wants to be arrested.
It was a scary thing to have happen to you, to be standing somewhere where bullets go past your head.
Remember Sales event.
Mom, open it.
Because of what she represented to the Latino community, because of the type of person that she was, type of human being she was, I really felt it was my duty to let people know that and bring that to them.
The casting of Jennifer as Selena caused controversy. Some Selena fans claimed an actress of Puerto Rican descent shouldn't portray the Mexican-American singer. But Jennifer proved them wrong. The film was released in the spring of 1997 and was a hit with audiences and critics.
Well, that's the first time people actually really noticed me at all as an actress, you know what I mean? I think that it was a really high-profile project, and it got a lot of recognition, did really well at the box office in the first few weeks, you know, against, like, I think Jim Carrey, which opened really big for the first time that week as well. So it was a really good time. It was a good time. I mean, I would say that kind of, figuratively speaking, put me on the map.
The Selena movie was just such an amazing total experience because she worked really hard on it. I visited her one day when she did the scene that happens in Monterrey, Mexico. She's wearing all white, and the stage is supposed to collapse beneath her as she's performing because the crowd gets so big. And all day she performed the song and performed in front of the crowd and was being this person. And it was surreal to me to watch.
Jennifer's paycheck, $1 million, making her the highest paid Latina actress to date. Movie offers started rolling in.
My next one after that, after Selena, what did I do after Selena came out? Then came Anaconda, and then Out of Sight, I think, was after that. Yeah.
And you were great in that.
Not to, belittle Anaconda in any way.
No. Hey, that was good. That was good.
But Out of Sight was the kind of next one where it was like kind of critically acclaimed and stuff like that. Yeah, so it was nice. It was a good time.
And life got even better. In 1996, Jennifer was in Miami shooting the film Blood and Wine when she met Cuban-born waiter and model Ohani Noah. A year later, 23-year-old Ohani and 26-year-old Jennifer were married.
I just got married. Been married a month and 4 days.
How long did you two know each other?
For a year. It's enough. I didn't need much convincing.
What was it like, though, as you became more famous, to be in a relationship and people start paying so much attention to you?
I think it was tough. I think it was tough on both of us. First of all, because I was learning to adjust to it myself, so it wasn't like I could help my partner with it in any way. You know what I mean? Because I didn't really feel comfortable with it. It caused me a lot of anxiety.
Is it hard not to be defensive, though, when people write things or say things?
I mean, in the beginning, it was really tough for me. You know what I mean? I remember, like, the first time they wrote something, I got married to Ohani, and they said that, like, he threw a plate at me, and and I wanted to sue them. I was just like, they can't say things like that. I remember my managers, and they were just like, it's too much money to sue everybody who's gonna write stuff about you, and But it was the first time it had happened to me, so it was, like, really weird, and I didn't like it, and I didn't like that they were saying something about the man I loved, or about me.
Do you think it's difficult, though, for somebody not in the public eye to be with somebody like you that's so
I think it's difficult, but I think if that person has a strong sense of themselves, that it's not as hard. I think when they don't is when it's like kind of like, okay, well, how am I being defined here? What is this? How is this happening? You know what I mean? And it's tricky for anybody, even if you do have a strong sense of who you are. It's just such a weird thing. It's so surreal. It's hard to describe. You know what I mean? But I think even for my family, it's been tough. You know what I mean? Who didn't bargain on me doing what I was doing, but somehow it's impacted their life as well. You know, they're looked at as Jennifer Lopez's mother, or Jennifer Lopez's dad, or her, you know what I mean? And it's tough for them.
When it first starts happening to anyone, I imagine it's too surreal to really comprehend.
Initially, we reacted like negative, like everybody else, every other parent would. You know, why is she doing this and why is she doing that? And in fact, she wasn't doing any of these things. But you get it. You get the feedback from the public. You get somebody who read something in one of the magazines, you know, local magazines, that she was here, she was doing that. And it affects you. It affects you because you think somebody's telling you that there's some credibility to it. And I learned a long time ago that unless Jennifer tells me it's happening, it's not happening.
By mid-1998, Jennifer Lopez was becoming a star, but she and Ohani were growing apart. A little more than a year into the marriage, the couple called it quits. Next on Reveals, a high-profile hip-hop love affair.
I think Puffy was very kind of like not liking it as much.
And later, Jen and Ben.
Every bride has wedding day jitters. What are you going to be nervous about on your wedding day?
Take average, ordinary people and put them on actual blind dates with celebrities.
I've never been with two girls. 6, that's different.
That's Stargate on E, where you never know who's gonna hit.
Jennifer Lopez started performing professionally as a dancer, but she made a name for herself as an actress in the movies Selena and Out of Sight. And all the while, she had her sights set on singing, too.
I know people got to know me first as an actress because I didn't even start recording my first album until after Out of Sight came out. So that was kind of a weird thing. I think people were like, why is she doing this? but I just knew it was part of who I am, you know, and who I was. So it wasn't weird to me, and I knew that people would see that eventually.
The executives at a music label did.
They had heard my demo tape, and I wanted to do it, and my manager set up the meeting, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, they're like, we'll give her a record deal for this much money. You know, and it was a really small deal and everything, and I was just like, I want to meet the head of the company.
That man was Tommy Mottola, chairman and CEO of Sony Music. The same Tommy Mottola who launched the careers of Mariah Carey and Celine Dion.
It happened to be in New York. It was around Christmas time, and I was getting my hair done with my mom at a salon a few blocks away from Sony, just so happened to be, and I get a call from my manager. He's like, Tommy Mottola can see you right now. And I was like, I can't see Tommy Mottola right now. I'm with my mother, and we're getting our hair colored. And he's like, Jennifer, and even though I knew I wanted to meet the head of the company, I didn't, you know, see him as like Tommy Mottola, you know what I mean? This big guy who doesn't have, I didn't see it as that. I was just like, no, I'll see you Monday. Tell him I can do it Monday. I can do it Monday, or I can do it tomorrow, Saturday. You know what I mean? And they were like, no, Jennifer, he's leaving for the Hamptons at 6 o'clock, and you have to go now. And I'm like, I'm not going now. Please, come on. I want my mom. No, so my manager's like, I hung up. He called back. He's like, Jennifer, please. He can't change it. He's going to see you now, or he doesn't see you at all. Because I guess he had heard the tape, heard my demo tape. I was just like, where is this girl? Let me talk to her. And you see, you know, having things like that, he's like, get her on the phone. And I was like, so I was like, all right, fine. I'll go over there. Give me the address, you know. And I go over there, ignorance being bliss, you know what I mean? And just going over there. I was like, you know what? I was getting my hair colored with my mom. My mom is in the other room. I brought her over here. And he's like looking at me like, who is this crazy girl, you know? And he's like, well, I heard your demo tape, and I just want to know, what do you want? And I was like, what do I want? Oh, you know, and he closed the door. You know, he talked to me for like 2 minutes, and then he closed the door, and he's like, what do you want? And I was just like, I want, you know, a A-level deal. I want everything A all the way, you know what I mean? I want the right videos. I want this. I want the company to be behind me. I want a real deal. I don't want a little, you know, bull crappy deal, you know, just like throw off and see what happens. I said, I want to know that I have the support of this company. And he was like, okay, well, we'll do that then. All right, so we have a done deal. And he twisted him. I was like, no. I said, you got to talk to my manager, because I didn't know anything about the music business at the time. I didn't know.
But that was it?
That was pretty much it. The next few days, he called my manager right away. He's like, get her manager on the phone. I mean, that's how he is. He's like, when he wants something, he gets it done right away.
Jennifer went into the studio and started recording songs for her debut album, On the 6th, named after the subway line she used to take into Manhattan. The CD was released in June 1999, and its first single, If You Had My Love, went to number 1.
If you had my love and I gave you all my trust, would you comfort me?
One of the tracks on the album, Feelin' So Good, was brought to Jennifer by record producer Sean Puffy Combs. It wasn't long before Lopez and Combs were making music of their own.
How explosive did things get when you started dating Puffy? Because I felt like that's really when the media attention really started getting crazy.
Mm-hmm. I think that's when we started getting a lot of press, for sure. There was a big interest in us for some reason. And you never know. It's just a thing. People just all of a sudden, they're like, yep, let's write about them. So it was strange, but it was fine. You know, at that point, I was a little more used to it, and I had been in the press enough that I knew how to handle it and kind of take it with a grain of salt at that point. I think Puffy was very kind of like not liking it as much, but and would get very upset at certain things that they wrote and stuff, and he would be like, you have to care about this stuff, and I was like, I just don't. It's not true. Why should we care? Forget it. You know what I mean? That was more my attitude always, and that's just how I handled it.
Coming up on Revealed, the shots heard round the world.
It was a terrible time.
And later,
so you think you are a diva, but you're not a bitch.
Sunday. It's the Anna Nicole Holiday Special.
Burn it!
With celebrity guests and a few surprises. It's a party so big.
I don't do small.
As a couple, Jennifer Lopez and Sean Puffy Combs constantly made headlines. One night in December 1999, they made the crime log. Lopez and Combs were in a Manhattan nightclub when shots were fired. 3 people were wounded. Minutes after the shooting, Jennifer and Puffy left the club and were pulled over by police. An unregistered gun was found in their car. Jennifer and Puffy were arrested on charges of criminal possession of a weapon.
How hard was the nightclub shooting?
It was tough. I mean, it was a terrible time, you know what I mean? Especially when you know you didn't do anything, you know what I mean? And then to become the center, especially for him, you know what I mean? And you just try to be supportive as you can, you know, and just keep praying that it's over quickly.
I want to say to you all face to face, I had nothing to do with a shooting that night in the nightclub. Absolutely nothing to do with the shooting that night in the nightclub, nor did Jennifer. We went there together by ourselves to have a good time in a limousine. And yes, she is doing well.
After being detained by police for more than 12 hours, Jennifer was cleared of all charges.
And you testified, didn't you?
Yes, to the grand jury I did. And that whole process is not fun. You know what I mean? Obviously, nobody really wants to be arrested or handcuffed or, you know, go through all that kind of stuff.
It was a scary thing to have happen to you, to be standing somewhere where bullets go past your head, you know. It was scary for her and stressful, I know, especially since she wasn't in trouble for anything, but you couldn't get away from the media coverage of how she was involved in the situation.
But again, something that I feel in my life that happened for a reason and to make me stronger and to let me know that I can get through anything. It doesn't matter what it is, that God is with me and that everything's going to be okay. And so long as I live my life in the right way, it doesn't matter how things are spun or what people say or what they think it is. So long as that I know I've done the right thing, that everything's going to be okay.
Jennifer refused to let the incident cramp her style. In fact, Jennifer's style was the topic of conversation at the 2000 Grammy Awards, thanks to a very revealing Versace dress. January 2001 was a big month for Jennifer Lopez. Her second album, J-Lo, reached the top of the Billboard charts, and she was starring in the country's #1 movie, The Wedding Planner. Jennifer became the first performer to reach both milestones the same week.
I was doing a lot of press for like The Wedding Planner, and J-Lo, the record, was about to come out in the same week, and we did a blitz of press, and I was doing Saturday Night Live, and then I was about to start rehearsing for Enough, and then during Enough, I just kind of hit the wall and was just like, I can't do this anymore. I'm tired. I'm doing videos on the weekends and shooting the movie during the week and recording, and it was bananas. It was a really, really crazy time.
And Puffy was still in court.
What was it like for you to have so much success and then this other stuff going on?
It was like exactly what you would think it would be if you were going through it. It was like a mix of like highs and lows. You know what I mean? Where it was just like this incredible stuff was happening in my career, and I was trying to focus on that and work as hard as I could to make all that stuff work and be a success. And at the same time, you know that this part of your life is kind of coming to an end, and, you know, it's wrapping up, and there's all those emotions and separations, and it was a really tough time. It was a really, really tough time. And he was going through the trial at that time too, so it was a lot of stuff to deal with all at once. But again, I feel if I hadn't gone through that, I wouldn't be the person that I am today, who's much more sure of herself and much more kind of secure with the person that I am.
Ironically, on Valentine's Day 2001, Jennifer Lopez and Sean Puffy Combs officially split up.
What do you think about that relationship when you look back at it now?
Just like how you look back on any relationship, you know, it helps you grow and it helps you get to the next place, you know. When you're in it, you're hoping it becomes, you know, something great, and if it doesn't, then you move on, you know what I mean? You still have you care about that person as a human being. You spend 3 years of your life with them, or however long it is you spend with them, and then that's it, you know. I still care about him as a person, and we'll always be friends.
Coming up, a second trip down the aisle.
A lot more goes into a marriage than just love.
And later, third time's a charm, hopefully.
They're already trying to put little roadblocks up for me there, too.
Next Tuesday,
This is the place to go!
Wild On continues its most outrageous season yet.
Cool.
Join Cindy Taylor as she travels the globe and takes you places found only in your wildest...
By 2001, Jennifer Lopez was the highest paid Latina actress in Hollywood. She had hit records, a clothing line, and an empire in the making.
I love anything artistic, and all of those things happen to be very artistic. And so I feel I have something to offer because I have a point of view and I have a passion about it.
So you are so hands-on with everything, you can really focus.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's only so many hours in a day, and that's what I'm always trying to get people to understand, because when you're part of the clothing business or you're part of the fragrance business or you're part of the, you know, acting career, they all think that they're the only thing, and so it's like, look, I have only so many hours for this and this and this and this, and I have to be, like, really businesslike about it.
Jennifer Lopez, with all of her various enterprises, became known simply as J-Lo.
I didn't think that people would rename me J-Lo, you know what I mean? I like it. I named my album J-Lo, you know, because I like the fact that the fans actually nickname me that. But a nickname is not supposed to be your only name, you know what I mean? I miss Jennifer a little bit. You can call me Jennifer again, or Jenny, or J-Lo. It's fine. Anything is fine, but I really feel like, it's not that I don't like it. It's just that it really caught on. People call me it all the time. Well, I am Jennifer Lopez, and my mother has a real thing with the J-Lo thing. I'm sorry, J-Lo. You know what I mean? Like, Ma, don't call me J-Lo, all right? It's just the name of the album, Mommy. You know what I mean? And she's like, but now it's like the other person. It's not me. It's the other, you know, celebrity person.
I read a quote from you where you said that you admired Barbra Streisand, Diana Ross, Rita Moreno, that you really wanted to have careers like they had, have.
Exactly. That's the thing. They still have them. You know what I mean?
But all those women have been labeled as divas.
Yeah.
So here comes the question.
Yeah.
Are you a diva?
I mean, it's really how you want to use the word. I mean, I think a lot of times it's used in a negative way. You know what I mean? And why is it used in a negative way? Why is a woman who's successful and who has dreams and who's gone after it and who's made it happen and stuff like that has to be labeled in that way? And that diva thing to me says that you have bad behavior, which I don't have, which I don't feel I have. I don't treat anybody disrespectfully. I don't yell at people. I don't throw things across the room. I don't demand things. You know what I mean? I ask for things. I collaborate with people. I work hard. I'm a professional. I show up on time. That's the way I handle my business. So in that way, no, I don't think I'm a diva. But if it means, if you were to put me in a category, you know, with people that I have always aspired to have a career that is similar to theirs because they've sing and dance and act and have been able to maintain over many years, then, you know, yeah, put me in that category. Please, I hope one day I'm in that category.
But don't you think when people call people a diva, they're really saying she's a bitch?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. When it's used in a negative way, it's something that I don't feel that I should be associated with because I don't think it's fair.
So you think you are a diva, but you're not a bitch?
Yeah. I don't think that's what I said. But no, I'm not a bitch, no.
Jennifer will admit to being a hopeless romantic. Just 7 months after ending the relationship with Sean Combs, she married Chris Judd, a dancer who appeared with Jennifer on stage and in videos.
I'm choreographing 2 of her videos that are coming out. I'm working on some other stuff, and it's going to be exciting. We're in rehearsal right now for her next video.
A lot more goes into a marriage than just love. I mean, I learned that in my first marriage, but in my second marriage, it became more abundantly clear.
After only 10 months, Lopez filed for divorce.
Things just don't work out sometimes. You have the best intentions going in. You feel like, you know, it's something that you want to be really great and special and last throughout time, but, you know, sometimes the world gets in the way, things happen, and it's not right, you know? It's not that either one person is bad or good or anything like that. You know, both people could be great people who love and care about each other a lot. We parted friends, and I wish him the best, and I know he wishes me the best, and he knows that he always has a friend here in me, and that's just, you know, it's life. It's another thing in life for me where I feel like you just grow, and you move on, and you try to handle the situations with honesty and integrity. And so long as you do that, you know, everything will be okay. God will smile on that, you know what I mean? Nobody's without mistakes. You're gonna make mistakes. Everybody does, you know. I'm not perfect, you know, and I don't claim to be. I'm just a human being like everybody else, and except that my mistakes and my things are like, you know, on the front page of the paper.
Before her second divorce was final, Jennifer was making headlines again with a new man.
Ben Affleck. What do you think when I say his name?
I love him, and I'm very happy we're together, and he's very happy, and we know that we're going to be reported on, and everything we do is going to be reported on.
I'm just looking at the ring. I can't help it. It's beautiful.
Thank you. It is beautiful. It is a very beautiful ring.
More on the ring and the romance when we return.
Sandra Bullock, her first in-depth interview in a decade. Discover the real woman behind the girl next door image.
I'm not this.
In November 2002, Jennifer Lopez's life was a soap opera played out in the tabloids, the weekly magazines, and on the nightly news. Everyone wanted to know about Jennifer and her new beau, Ben Affleck. Ben made an appearance earlier in the year at the opening of Jennifer's restaurant Madre's. First, there was the ring, a conspicuously large pink diamond. Next, Ben's cameo in the music video, Jenny from the Block. And then, the much-anticipated announcement of their engagement.
You're getting married.
Yes.
What's everyone's reaction then? Are people happy for you?
I think people are happy. I think, there's always going to be people who are kind of cynical and weird about things, but I think that's just the nature. I don't know. I don't care about stuff like that, but for the most part, people have been very, very kind of open and receptive and happy, I think.
Both the Lopez and Affleck families have been supportive of the couple. Ben's mom, Chris Affleck.
Somebody came to me and said, I read in the paper that you don't like Jennifer Lopez. And I said, what? What is this about? But it did. It hurt me because I thought, I don't want her to think this. I want to get along with her. We're going to be family.
They're both on the same plane, on the same level. And I know he cares a lot about her, and they care about each other, so, and I always wish her the best. But I wish her, I hope you have a lot of luck with this one.
Jennifer has spoken openly about the engagement. Now she talks candidly about walking down the aisle.
Every bride has wedding day jitters. What are you going to be nervous about on your wedding day?
I hope nothing, because I was nervous on the last two. That's fun. Well, I hope it feels really natural, or else I'm going to be worried. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, you're going to do it at the church this time, right?
Yes. I want to. And they're already trying to put little roadblocks up for me there, too. It's all right. I got it.
According to reports, those roadblocks include Jennifer's divorce from her first husband, Ohani Noah. That marriage must be annulled if Jennifer and Ben want to get married in the Catholic Church. Her second divorce is not an issue since Jennifer and Chris Judd were married in an outdoor ceremony by her lawyer. No matter where the wedding happens, it's happening. But we wondered if there was any other news Jennifer might like to share. Do you have a big announcement? A baby?
No? Did you hear that somewhere? Everywhere. No, unfortunately not. I wish.
Yeah. Do you think about that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that something you want?
Absolutely.
I definitely think that they're off to a really good start. I do. And I expect to be surrounded by mountains of grandchildren.
A family may be in the future, but for now, it's all about finding a balance between romance and careers.
We're going to have to compromise. I think we're really being conscious of each other's schedules and how we're going to do things. And it's going to be tough. It's going to be hard. And like I said, there's going to be compromise. But I think we'll work it out because we want to. And I think that's the most important thing, that you want to kind of work it out. It's not like, this relationship is taking up too much of my time. You know what I mean? It's not like that type of situation. We actually both want it to work.
Jen and Ben met while making the movie Jewles. The couple enjoyed working together so much they did it again, this time in the comedy Jersey Girl.
What's it like for you guys to work together, though?
Working together for me was a really great experience as it pertains to him, because I just didn't realize, I think, what a great actor he is, how professional he is, how kind of what a nice person he is to work with. You know what I mean? I think any actress who's ever worked with him would say the same thing. You know what I mean? He's incredibly generous and sweet and affectionate, and just makes you feel really comfortable. So we had a great time working together. Plus, he loves to improv, which I do as well. So we played really well together and stuff like that. So in that sense, it was really great and a really pleasant thing to do.
But Ben's not Jennifer's only leading man. Jennifer stars in the romantic comedy Made in Manhattan with Ralph Fiennes.
Hey, I know you're used to getting what you want.
Until I met you.
At one point, Jennifer was even linked with Ralph.
We had went out to dinner one night. You know, we were done early on the set, and me and my manager, and we invited him out, and some other people came with us, and we all sat down, and we were at this restaurant, and then, you know, the paparazzi came, and they took a picture of us, and then it was in the paper the next day that we were out, and was he my new boyfriend or whatever, so
Yeah.
it happens.
With Jennifer Lopez, it seems to happen quite a bit.
Are you your own worst critic?
Maybe not. No, I think I am very critical of myself, but I think there's plenty of people out there who criticize me as well.
You have so much self-confidence. Do you ever have any self-doubt?
Absolutely. Hell yeah. Just like anybody else, I have fear. I have a lot of fear about a lot of different things and a lot of insecurities. And, you know, I'm just like everybody else, but I think I do it in spite of it, despite it and in spite of it.
When was the last time you were really scared about something you were doing?
I mean, it's all the time. You know what I mean? I can't think of any one specific thing, but there's several different things. You know what I mean? Whether it's like knowing that I'm going to sing somewhere, you know, or doing a scene that I don't feel like I have a real grasp on or understand, or something in the writing, you know what I mean? It's different things, stuff like that, you know, when it comes to my work, and maybe because I am such a perfectionist, that scares me sometimes. But it's so funny because I'll know I'm terrified, you know what I mean? And people around me, I'll be like, I was so scared that day, and they were like, you were? You didn't seem scared. It's just like this thing where I just am like, I just have to go for it. I just have to do it. I'm not gonna let the fear stop me.
Jennifer Lopez is an international icon, a media mogul whose success is unparalleled. She is known to the world simply as J-Lo, but Jennifer still sees herself as, well, Jenny from the block.
I'm still the same girl from the Bronx who used to take the train at Castle Hill, and Lupe's daughter, and David's daughter, and Linda's sister, and Leslie's sister, and we used to sleep all in the same bed, and you know what I mean, and grew up in the Catholic school, and that's it, you know what I mean? And this is your job now. This is what you do, and you're lucky to do it, and you're happy to do it, and all that kind of stuff, and you're just thankful and grateful, and come from a place of gratitude always, and that really helps as well.
This I'm not wearing. Come on, Jewles. This is like Dalmatian pants.
I didn't get my outfit.
Okay, I'm gonna get you an outfit. Yeah.
Cow coat.
I have to wear this week.
And this is what she gets to wear. I can't live with this.
Yes.
I love It's all about the coat.